Nervous. Long time no see.
Try to go in, then I'll let me go in.
You see? And your teams? When you go on you have it on the app,
I have my phone, yeah.
is it get darker, the color of the?
The ad hoc district-wide branding initiative committee. In presence, we have our committee members, Mr. Albert Benahan, and then also board member Joseph Sokolovic. We have Mr. Sestani and our staff. I would like to call this meeting to order. And can I have a motion to approve our February 16th, 2020 minutes?
So move.
Any corrections? All in favor? Oh, second, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, so now we're gonna have an update on our LEAP billboards. We're gonna move the agenda items around and do an update on LEAP.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I sent the pictures for the LEAP bulletin of a billboard that's up right now. It's rotating in 3 languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Nice.
And the exciting part is that we featured Bassick High School cheerleaders because they have great attendance. They're obviously engaged in their learning and their school after-school activities, and they completed their FAFSAs. So it's just like a huge win for these girls because they're setting themselves up for, great opportunities after high school. So we thought it was really nice to showcase them, and the teachers, the administration at Bassick, and of course these young ladies were really excited to see themselves up there.
Nice.
And so this will run through this week, and then we've collected a lot of pictures from our SEL day as well. So we're collecting a bunch of pictures, and then we'll all review them and decide what the next billboard picture will be.
I think this is really good. I was really excited when I saw it via email as well. And also that one thing that we wanted to highlight was making sure that we highlight different after-school program activities, and I thought this was really good.
Yes.
Mr. Benha, I know this is your home school, so any questions, concerns?
Right. Oh, that's nice. I like it. The only thing I don't see male, but that's the cheerleaders. Okay, like a woman's thing.
It's National Women's Month.
It is, so that's even better.
Really.
Celebrate our women,
Yeah.
strong
But
women.
nice. I like it. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Sokolovic,
No question.
no questions?
Very nice.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing the new one. I'm glad that we get the chance to, because when we did Waltersville, a lot of kids were excited about to see Waltersville. So I'm excited that we're really tapping in, highlighting the schools and bringing that school morale. So I think that's really good.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy.
Okay.
That's great. Good job.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Don't have to be nervous.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me go first as
No
well.
problem.
Enjoy.
I'm gonna move another one around.
Drink too much.
I'm gonna just go to point number 4, discussion and possible action to use Parent School as a resource for students who need support after hours. So this, Mr. Sestani, actually came from a meeting that we had. That meeting, was that students and families? When we talked about at that meeting how that was Albert's meeting. We were talking about how students would be able to access either services if they're in distress after school hours. And one thing that we were worried about was that the school would be liable for anything that may be, the school hours are done, but the app is still open. But could the school app be able to be a resource? So if a message does come through, could we have a generic message that says, hey, contact 211, hey, contact this, because one of the things we were talking about in student family was to dealing with, the bullying may start at school, but then may carry over after hours, and students may either be in a mentally bad place and may need somebody to reach out to. And if the app is available to divert them to a 211 or actual, you know, I know 911 will be realistically, but because our students are connected to us by this app, if we can just have something like that in place. I don't even know if it's possible, but I said I would.
Yeah, I'll ask, data management, I'll ask PJ tomorrow to check into what options, because I don't think that students are the ones with the access to parents where the parents are, but they do have access to Teams.
So maybe that's, maybe,
Right, so there should be, and with Teams, they can direct message a teacher, a counselor, a principal, and if they're not necessarily connected to their device at the moment, you're right, it'll fall on deaf ears.
correct.
Because I've had students reach out to me at weird times of the night, you know, are you canceling school tomorrow? It's going to snow and stuff like that. Obviously, it's more connected to me because I do respond that they should stay tuned and, you know, follow on Twitter and news outlets. But something that's more serious where they do feel comfortable with a social worker or a teacher, and they reach out and then no one's there to respond. That's a good question.
Because that was one of the things that actually you brought up. Mrs. O'Cullivan brought up. It was like, you know, the students that, like, if an incident does happen at school and the student is still in distress after hours, and we just automatically, the app is closed, the school is closed, no one they can reach out to, that the next day that student could either, you know, commit suicide or whatever the case, and the last contact that they would have had would have been with the district or whatever the case may be. And not saying that we don't want to take the blame or the fault, but if we can prevent waiting till the next day for them to say, hey, we're here for you, when last night was the 911.
Yeah. I know with Teams, we had talked about, because it came up during remote learning time when COVID had things shut down, or when we were hybrid, or the students that did elect to stay home. We can, and this is not a suggestion or not, but we can shut down access to Teams during certain hours, because teachers were getting messages about, you know, kids were up, as Mr. Sokolovic mentioned last night during teaching and learning, their hours and their biological clocks were different. So they were up at 3 a.m. doing homework and messaging a teacher for, hey, you know, I need help on this question. And teachers are like, their phone's pinging in the middle of the night. But we didn't want to shut that down because, you know, some teachers didn't mind some of the after hours stuff, you know, at reasonable hours. So, but in this case, you know, we should talk a little bit more about this, because a kid in distress that reaches out to somebody that they trust and no one reaches back.
So even if it was like, you know, like I was talking to, you know, we were talking at the students and families meeting, even if it's an automated message with resources, or if they're, you know, and this would probably come in because this is what you were talking about, of having someone, like, not saying call center, but if, I know we're strapped for funds, but having someone who specifically is there for something like that. And even right now, maybe an idea, but, you know, if we could pitch it to something like how we can be a better resource to our students after hours. I know we're not social workers and things like that, but.
I mean, 211 is the number that they should call when they're in distress. How we can get that message across so every kid has, you know, the wherewithal to make that call if they need it, if no one else is there for them. But that's something, we should talk about that.
Okay. All right. Mr. Benan?
I see. I understand your point, Mr. Testani, but 211 sometimes don't work. You know, tell you, I really have experience with some parents when they call in the night.
Oh, no. Then 911 is the number.
I know 911 is different, but when you say 211 or sometimes, trust me, they don't work.
That's kind of where they're telling everyone to call. So that's something we probably have to.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying because you just say that 211, it's not. You know, we have to do something like, I know 911 is sometimes when you call 911, they will tell you, oh, that's not emergency. You know, sometimes, because I got parents, they really told me, but sometimes we have to do something more better. Like it's a number there, they connect direct to, you know, to you or somebody help, or the students or parents, you know, but sometimes.
Well, I mean, the after hours is going to be problematic for anybody, because I don't know. I mean, if somebody reached out to me at 10 o'clock on a Friday evening, as a parent, I would refer them to call 911. Now, it would have to be an emergency situation. And what that would be defined as an emergency, but that would be difficult, because if 911 doesn't feel it's an emergency, we don't have any staff that would be available outside their contractual hours, which is problematic. I mean, that's just any school district. But I haven't called 211 in a long time myself, but we'd have to have some conversation with some local providers on to see what support is out there in the Bridgeport community after hours for families.
I know you would say like you call 911, but like you said, but I hope the next day you or whoever it is in staff, they will call this parent in the morning. Listen, I heard you call last night. I know you called 911.
That was
told me what's going on. Yeah, exactly. Not ignored. I don't want the parents or students to be ignored. I know in the middle of the night, I know you will say, listen, right now call 911. It's tomorrow morning or something very early. I will contact you and see what we can do.
Yeah, that was the other part of it too, is that if the app itself, either Parent Square or Teams, could track that, if we send out the automated, student writes to us, they send out the automated message, hey, contact so-and-so, on our end, does IT or whomever can track or follow up and say, we saw a message, we're just checking in to make sure that your needs were met. We saw, something of that could we?
I could ask, I think that's a good question, because IT does monitor. I don't know how, if it's in the morning, but things do get flagged on Teams.
That was the other one. That was,
and then that gets referred back to the school. So let me get some more information on the team stuff, because I know we have caught some pretty serious situations throughout the pandemic with IT monitoring the team's account.
Good. That was the other part of the conversation, was like, is either of them set up to track like alarming messages?
Yes.
Directly.
Yes.
Okay.
We did have a situation at a school with a young man. And I have to say the response from IT and the team at the school, I will confidently say they saved that young man's life.
Oh.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay, now that my memory is refreshed, I remember from its inception, it was a conversation with about bullying, possible thoughts of suicide, and how to report them. And like say a student had like suicidal ideations at 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Yeah.
How would they report, if they could report it to their school? And some questions were made about possible liabilities if we reported and know about it and something happens.
Okay.
And discussed about maybe getting a legal opinion to put a disclaimer on the reporting area with other resources. If this is an emergency, call 911, or the suicide hotline number or something on there.
Okay.
And the bullying reports, and I make sure somebody has to pick it up, because what the foreseeable happen is they have nowhere to reach out on a Friday. By Monday, they might be feeling okay again, but that thought was still there and it still needs to be addressed.
Right.
And then maybe next time they won't have the urge to reach out, and something that could have been caught.
Right.
And that was the area we were going to
Gotcha.
first and foremost protect the child, and then protect
The district.
the district.
So we have a couple of things, I think, here in terms of the IT and being able to flag these things, and then also the legal opinion.
Correct.
And this is new territory for school districts with.
And we might want to tack on some sort of anonymous reporting system for such a things. Because if I see, say, Jake is looking like he's having some real psychological issues, or Jake is being picked on and somebody wants to report it, that's not Jake, but they don't want to get their name involved and have like, because I know some districts have anonymous reporting systems. I don't know exactly how they work.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yeah. So these are some of the thoughts we were thinking with like, And we didn't know like exactly how it would fall in line with our committee, but I thought if we're going to use anything technology wise, branding wise, because this, at the end of the day, this is something that we're using with one of the platforms that we currently have.
I think if we can put together an anonymous reporting system, that's something through this committee that now that the awareness has been brought up, if we can create that, it could be part of the new website.
Good.
Where students and parents can feel comfortable reporting incidents, not having to identify who they are. As long as we can see that they're reporting something that is credible, have them write.
I mean, because you guys would do a thorough investigation.
Yeah, we just don't want to spend time on just people just throwing stuff out there.
Correct.
Again, this is funny, kids
Yeah.
trying to get people to look for Jake, and Jake doesn't exist. Or Jake might be his nickname, and we'll never figure out who Jake is.
Yeah. So, so that was one of the things that we thought from this committee, and I thought it was definitely a great thing for conversation to see how we could better support our students through any of the apps that we are currently using.
Absolutely.
So what I'll do is I'll wait to hear back from you for our next meeting on how we can support, what can be done for them.
We got some homework here. Check with legal, check with IT, and I'd like to look into this anonymous reporting system, who has one and what that looks.
Because we were looking at the bullying numbers, and like, even though they're, we would love to say that no kid is being bullied, but then what if they are and they're just not reporting it? So that was the thought behind it.
From my experience, what I would have to say is I think the reporting of bullying usually is not bullying. The stuff that's not being reported is the more seriousness.
Correct.
Bullying incidents.
Correct.
Because the ones that report bullying, what they report as bullying is really not bullying. It's, a one-time incident where somebody called somebody a name or something like that, and it doesn't categorize as bullying. The serious nature incidents of bullying are not being reported, because that's when kids are fearful of the repercussions if they do report. And those are the concerning ones, that if we had an anonymous place to report that, maybe we'll get those more often.
Good point. Mr. Benahan?
Let me comment.
Okay. All right. So I tried to push the other agenda items for Mr. Weldon, but I don't see him. But we're not going to hold you any longer. So please come. Thanks. And Albert, they're in your packet. I don't know if you've seen them. The new logos that they came up with. Okay.
Good evening.
I'm going to have to say, and Dr. Henry is the visual arts person, but after having a conversation with her, I think as color schemes get added to this, it'll become more.
Pop out. Right?
Yeah, I don't have that artistic eye, but she does.
So this is the step one in many steps with the graphic designer. So what he's done is he's provided us a couple of concepts. There's one main concept, and then if you look on the second page, there are some other alternatives. They don't put color on or produce a style guide until we have said yes to the actual black and white version.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And so you can see there are 6 options that the designers come up with. And if the main one is what he's going for, but this is completely open to conversation and feedback. So we can go back to him and say, we don't like any of them, please try again. Or we can say, we love this element in this one, but can it happen here? This is where we play.
Okay.
And then next comes color, and then comes the style guide.
Okay. You guys can take a couple of minutes. I just want to know, what is this part? Is this water?
So it's funny, I'm like, is this an arrow?
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm like thrown off.
Agreed. I think if we took the triangle out, it would look like waves. So I think what he's going for here is the Long Island Sound, because we're on the banks of the Long Island Sound. The graduation cap, he went with the global
I see the
theme.
globe. I see the globe.
And the every kid, every day. I wondered, I had the exact same
like,
response.
what?
Like, what is that little triangle for? Because
Is that the end of the tassel
I don't,
that he's using as part of a wave? I don't know.
It's connected, but it also is a water.
Yeah,
right, I think it's referencing the water with the sound and that sort of thing. But I agree, it gets a little lost in there. I thought the same.
Because I see I saw it on this one too,
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, maybe it is just water. Me
Mhm.
personally, I'm not a fan of the water.
Okay,
But I do like everything else within here. Maybe this is mine and we'll go down the line. I think maybe if he can do something with, because the cap is the center of it,
Mhm.
and I see like, it looks a little confusing. I see what he's going for a globe, but if we can move some of these global parts out so that the cap we
Agreed.
can tell the difference between the cap and the globe versus the cap on top of the globe.
I think the colors will help with that
Okay.
significantly, but I've got it, move the global continents. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But if you envision, it's also a big black square in the middle of a logo. So
True.
you're exactly right that
True.
we should shift it somehow to show more of, I mean, maybe if the cap was slightly smaller, the
Smaller.
continents would look more,
And then
would be fairer.
I'm not sure what I would suggest for him to maybe be on the bottom. So if we took out the whole water concept, I know we talked, I'm trying to think of.
I've got
just something
Yeah.
to throw out there. Because I know we liked it in a lot of the student renditions.
Mhm.
Instead of the water, maybe that's where we put the hands.
That's not a bad idea either. That's not a bad idea. Like, I like that. Because it gives me more visual perspective.
Mhm. So the words that you all put together from the student designs that you like, do you like the puzzle pieces? You like the clock, the globe with graduation cap, and then the representation of diversity in our student body. So we could certainly switch, and here, let me give you this. This is the,
'Cause that would represent the diversity.
With the
The
hands.
water doesn't really represent anything but our proximity to the water. I like the font on the Bridgeport Public Schools.
it's nice and clear.
I like
Yeah.
that too. Actually, the font on every kid every day is
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
clean.
Yeah, it's very clean. Yeah.
That's my two takes on it. Albert and then Mrs. Holiday. And just for the record, she said we don't have to go with any of them. So if you don't like any of them, we can also, this is just one. So I'm gonna suggest that we come up with some more too.
Sure.
But that's just a
Absolutely.
disclaimer.
I just have one question. This logo, is they are the one we see before?
No, these are completely new from the graphic designer. So if you take a look at this, the design package brief, this is what I submitted to the designer based on the feedback that you all put together at the last meeting. I took the minutes from the last meeting where you looked at the student designs and we discussed it, and I filled this out for them.
Me personal, I really, I know it's not confirmed, but I didn't like it at all.
Okay?
The reason why I don't like it because I feel like they new design stuff with that, but I would like to see more what we see in a package before for our kids. The only one I can say I can take it out, and just because I know what color is a little different, and I believe is the logo with, I believe there are kids around, like a star, but it's like a kid.
Oh, yeah.
That, but removing, of the put something in the middle now, look like it's the word, something different. But I really no. I didn't like it at all. That's my opinion, but we gotta keep looking.
What's the color of it?
Yeah, I was liking the first one until you brought up the wave.
Yeah, because it didn't make any sense. But like everything.
Yeah, I like the font, like Francis said. We could also,
Pretty cool, right?
if we were to choose another one, Bridgeport Public Schools would be under that
Yes,
as well.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
But then we would be
combine-
able to integrate every kid every day into probably any of them.
Right.
Make it make sense.
No, but-
This is on
But if you think about
circular.
so how it works is you have a logo. So this is, for example, this would be the logo. this whole thing. It'll be this, and then this will be at the bottom.
Right.
So it'll be, if you took out the background, that will be what you will see on any and everything that we put.
Right.
So with any of these, they can take this same font, put it directly under it. It will still say Bridgeport Public Schools with the logo. So all of it will be incorporated.
So will we,
No, this,
They could take that too. They could
they
take
could
the
take
circle.
that and put it there too. On the outskirts, every kid, every
Right.
day,
Oh, okay.
and then Bridgeport Public Schools. That's how it would look.
But then, the diamond would be gone in the last one and,
Correct. And so what they could do is they could do every kid every day.
Yeah.
And it become that sort of,
If we went with that.
right. So you can add or take
and what,
away
and,
anything.
and what does this represent? Does this represent the road?
Maybe the pathway to graduation and success.
Could be
The
road.
Right.
Like that.
Do you like that? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a
It
fan of
depends-
this one because I don't like abbreviations when it comes to like something.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
Agreed.
But you said this could be transferred over here, right?
Yeah, so literally,
And then
okay,
you-
so if you look at the signage, this whole thing is the logo.
Okay.
All of this. So you would move Bridgeport Public Schools. If we chose that, it would be Bridgeport Public Schools, exactly how it is on there, right there. Every kid, every day, if we went with that. Does that make sense? He could do something where he incorporated Bridgeport Public Schools into the actual design,
Right.
but I think it would be too much words.
Right, okay.
That's just me, but.
Yeah. I'm biased towards because this one, because it's a round shape, I guess.
And it's easier to put on everything.
Round was popular amongst the kids' designs. Many of their designs were round.
Right.
Can we, do this in a tiered level? I mean, if we come out of today, we're just like agreeing on.
Oh, no, we're
possibly
not, no.
Round, and then we got somewhere to focus on a round logo, and then we could. I don't know, what do you think? It's not like.
Tell me what
Yeah,
you
no,
want.
no, I'm fine. Like I said, like this was a good capture of it,
Okay.
but I do think we need more, something more.
So you like the round border with every kid every day?
Yes.
So every kid every day, is that the way you can put Bridgeport Public School? That's to be,
So
they- that's,
it would be right here, Albert.
but it cannot be, that's my question, can it be?
It would be maybe too many words.
So what will happen is if you take Bridgeport and you try to make it into the circular motion, it does become little. And so the font size cannot be big. So what the designer has done is so our brand is Bridgeport Public Schools and our slogan is every kid, every day. So we want people to know Bridgeport Public Schools. And so that is bold and clear right underneath.
Mhm.
But then when they look a little further in, they see the every kid, every day.
That makes sense?
No, I understand, because I know this over here in this one,
Right.
Bridgeport Public School, right?
Right. It does, and the logo, achieving excellence together, or changing the future and achieving excellence
That's their
together.
slogan.
Correct, was the slogan.
But we've adopted every kid, every day as our slogan for this year.
The designing, they don't tell you the concerns about what the kids, they did, they don't.
So what we did is, if you read through this, I took all the notes from the last time you guys went through and you discussed which parts of the student design you liked. And that's what I shared with the designer. So we want it fun and youthful, right? Mm-hmm. We want it clean and modern. We want something new and progressive. And then, the words that the Board of Ed described, or that the team described, were fun, creative future, successful, powerful communication. So I gave them a theme for what we were working towards. I can go back to him and say, these weren't right. I can go back to them and say, the team liked every kid every day, but we don't love the graphics in the middle. And they can work from there. What I'm assuming they'll ask for is a bit more of a direction you want to head in if these aren't what you want to move forward with.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Are there any aspects of the logo you agree with on the front page? Because if there's something that everybody agrees on, it gives us a starting point to change the things that don't disagree on and just have a starting point.
I feel the words we use here, they don't match with the logo. That's my opinion. I don't
Okay.
think that the words we use, phone, creating, successful, friendship, everything we did and everything. I don't see it for the, especially the logos in the back. I didn't like it all. The one in the front look very,
So for me, I see, so the cap to me is, resume success. I think the globe gives us like where the future of where the students can go. So that's two of our words. The water, I don't know, doesn't make it, anything. So maybe I think I'm looking at it like I see two words for me from the words that we came up with. What about you?
Yeah, I like the shape,
Mm-hmm.
the words inside of a kid every day.
Mhm.
I like the cap, maybe shrink it down. Is it possible to put some words on it, to integrate the words Mr. Benahan is speaking about onto the cap itself? Because a lot of students put,
They do design their caps at
They
graduation.
do.
Mhm.
what do you think about that? Mr. Benahan?
Maybe putting some of those filler words in there. Could try that too. Maybe 3. 1, 2, 3, or 2.
is that what the water, that's a rainbow, whatever.
Maybe it is a bridge. Could be a bridge.
It could, yeah.
That could be a bridge or a high bridge over water.
Mhm.
And you mentioned the cap being black, it might be better to be a lighter, like maybe,
Like a blue.
maybe a
Gray.
blue and then a
Blue,
black,
blue.
then black words, so you
Yeah,
could
like a
actually see the
blue.
words on top of the cap. And-
Put the words white, maybe.
Yes,
For me, the cap, my opinion, like I say, is everybody different opinion. The cap for me, like we know our kids gonna graduate,
But we do know.
but our goal is to be sure our kids.
Right. So that's why so that's why I thought the cap was a good symbol of like, you start here, you end here, the thing.
What words would you like in there?
Yeah.
I can say, maybe we can use the same words, some of them, not all of it.
Like what?
Future,
Future.
our, success, diversity. One of the kind of words, they can be something.
You want to see this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have extras if you want.
So if you got the cap, like if you, I don't scratch that line.
Oh, here, I've got extra copies.
Trying to sit for a working meeting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Future.
Hey, good.
The power.
Yeah.
Power.
Going straight across.
I don't know, just to play with it, I just want to make sure the words get in there. Future power. Oh, wait.
The designer provided.
Future power success. Did you say one more? I don't know. If-
Diversity.
1, 2, 3, 4, one on each corner.
From live.
Edge, diversity.
These are the concepts. And so this is step
So
1.
if you have 4 words in a square,
Likes the design,
On
and
each.
it goes forward to color,
that's what comes.
and it goes to the style guide.
Down. What do you think?
I think that's not bad.
What do you think, Albert?
Okay.
So like a blue, and the white letters, the brown letters with the 4 words on each edge of the. Does that sound good?
Just so I'm clear, you want the cap in blue, and then you want letters on each, words on each 4 of the corners, or each 4 of the sides?
4 of the sides, correct, yeah. Whichever can make more sense visually. And then
So that's
that
one design.
that would incorporate Mr. Benahan's
Right.
concerns.
And the 4 words you selected are
You did.
success, future, power,
And diversity.
and diversity.
Yeah.
Now, if it gets too cluttered and I need 3, which one do you wanna?
If it could be 3.
Drop.
I'm willing to strip. Because that is a lot of words in one thing, but
Right, and the tassel is going
Take
to
it out just in case they have the word power.
power.
take the word, okay, so that would be number 4.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I would have chose.
Yeah, it would.
How many words you put in the?
So it'll be
He
3.
put
It'll
in
be
3 instead of 4.
4, and if it's cluttered design, we're gonna drop it to 3 and drop power, so it'll be
Yeah.
future, success, diversity.
Inside the cap,
I'm just walking into this. I have no frame of reference.
Oh, sorry.
What's going
So,
on here?
so what we did was in the packets, like we went over using what we thought about how this resembles any of the stuff that we talked about. These are not written in stone, so they're not something we can not like any of them and send them back and have them come back and give us some more stuff. One thing that we did like so far is the circle shape. There was a few things in here that didn't make any sense, which was the water underneath the first one. So we
Is that
didn't.
what that's supposed to be?
So you're the other one.
And the other thing is, I see this is supposed to be a globe,
Mhm.
Right, and it's not clear.
which to me doesn't say anything about academia or diversity.
Mhm.
To me, that's more like environment, Earth Day.
Well, or how far the students can go. Like that was the other thing too that we were thinking, like maybe that's what
But it doesn't immediately, you had to try to interpret
Right.
that.
yeah.
It doesn't immediately speak that.
The globe came up multiple times in the student design.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So that's where
that's where
it
they,
comes.
because we're representative from people from all over the world.
correct.
Yeah. But I think you could say that another way.
Sure.
So we're just having all of us just pick through what we like, what we don't like, and then we're gonna get some more designs. We were not a fan of any of these on this page. The second one. Oh, that is your second one.
So this is the main concept.
No, I know that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, like, I would almost want them to go back. I get the graduation cap. Rest of it, like the globe and the water. I don't think either of those two elements clearly convey anything. Like, you don't look at that and know exactly what it's trying to say to you. My initial impression when I saw the globe was something environmental related, like Earth Day. And it did print up things.
Yes,
Part of what we were doing before you walked in, we come into
You were talking about-
areas of agreement, so we could focus the designers a little more on it, incorporate the areas everybody agrees on, so we give them a little bit more of a focus. And so far, what we've agreed on so far is the shape.
we like,
We all like the round shape. Every kid, every day, and the font style, we like within the shape. And Bridgeport Public Schools
At the
logo
bottom.
and the font on the bottom. There's so far areas of agreement. We had some discussion about the cap, and Benahan raised that there weren't the words that were incorporated in the focus groups with the students, so we decided to add those within the brim of the cap, like the students have always customized their capsules, have the words
graduation.
future, success, power, and diversity. And if all four don't fit, to drop power and just use the three. But and those are the areas of agreement. Nobody agreed on the globe. Everybody basically wanted
And
to
like
talk
the
about water.
water.
So everybody's in agreement. Now we could have focus. The designers could be more focused on the areas we agree with, and then they come back with something else and cut that up afterwards.
Yeah, we're not adding colors or anything, so this is just black and
Yeah,
white.
what, these two colors, are these
So those are for the website colors. So
For the
that's
website.
thematically
red and blue
correct.
together?
No, so if there's a banner on, it doesn't specifically go with the logo, but for example, the website, the background color would be the dark navy blue, and then a banner across the top with the school's name would be the red.
That's good.
See,
Yeah, we had extensive meetings on this.
okay, well, no, because I've seen red and blue used together, and if done correctly,
Right.
they kind of clash.
Clash. No, and the two shades that we picked complement each other
But
well.
like if you break it,
Mhm.
it doesn't clash.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, if you see anything within there that she can bring
Mhm.
back, like definitely.
No, I just, like I said, the
Yeah,
globe
those are
thing,
good, okay.
just
No globe.
Earth Day.
No, we all agree.
I didn't even think of
I
water.
don't
One
think-
thing Mr. Testani did suggest was that where the water is possibly put in hands to represent students. That was one thing he thought about too.
Where, I think everybody kind of liked that.
The hand.
The diversity.
Yeah.
Diversity students.
Mhm.
That could be one thing we could try on one of these books. So,
I think the water is common to a lot of the school districts on the Sound. I know Fairfield, Norwalk, they all incorporate some sort of either waves or something. I'm not sure. Those two I know because we saw designs from them because of the water, because of the physical location of the district. That's the only,
District, the bridge
and the bridge.
is part of where the designer is.
I'm not big.
what we could do is that we can give them another shot at the water and see if it looks better. But right here, it just looks like squiggly lines. So I didn't know if it would, honestly, I thought it was the cursor on a computer. That's what I thought that was. And then I was like, maybe it's a writing, like, students are writing. So I just couldn't figure out if it was,
It would be a lot of blue if it was water blue,
Yeah.
blue,
Right.
blue.
So
Yeah.
we could try it again as one of the concepts as water and see if we can find it out just a little bit more.
Less stylized.
Yeah, and then see if that'll work. But I'm gonna say I probably won't be a fan, but it's worth the try.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we give a shot at maybe a skyline, a city skyline?
That was something that Miss Silver from Harding had sent a rendition that kind of had,
You did. Did you? Oh, you didn't see that?
No,
You did with like the building.
yeah, let me see if I can find it.
because it doesn't seem like anybody here is married to the globe, so if we could get a couple of different background ideas to look at, and then we can maybe come to a conclusion about a background.
Mhm.
What the-
'Cause I feel like that's what's gonna make the logo in a sense. Like, yeah, the cap is on top, but it's whatever that image that's right in the back. It's gonna stand out the most.
So I'm gonna email this to you guys right now. It's kind of cool because she was an art teacher. Yeah, she drew it and it was, so, and it may not, I mean, pieces of it could be
Incorporated.
incorporated. So I'll email it to all of you right now. You might find some of it I mean, it is pretty interesting.
I go back. It's somewhere in one of these.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
Well, you should have it in a minute. And it was kind of cool. She put in like the Barnum Museum is included in this and a lighthouse.
Like landmarks that
Yeah,
people
landmark.
know when they.
When you see it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I've seen it. Where else have I seen it? Seen that on like a newsletter. It's not really exact, but you can tell it's supposed to be downtown Bridgeport.
Yeah, yeah.
You can tell the Trev's Tower.
Yes.
That was really
Send
cute.
your email.
But I'm
You
doing.
don't-
Fat fingers.
Oh. Mr. did you get it?
Albert.
It looks,
So even if we, then that would mean we would have to drop the cap further down to even fit some of these in the background.
Which could ideally blur out the water a little bit more.
Yeah, because I see she has water on hers too. But you can't really tell it's water until you like really focus on it, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Well, we could try that too. Sure.
I can share that with them
Yeah.
and say, look, we like the skyline. I can share pictures of the Barnum, so the buildings that we like.
At the lighthouse. I mean, a lighthouse is obviously, we have the lighthouse program.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
which is
what
like,
she's got there, if you tried to confine it to something like this, you could get like really cluttery.
right. And so
It's
they're
not
gonna have to,
expansive.
Yeah.
One piece of it. But
Yeah, that's what I did. That it could be the lighthouse. It could be one of these.
couldn't be the whole, yeah.
It could be the whole.
so do you want to focus on the lighthouse? Is that
Guys think-
something that represents?
School's the beacon of the community.
Something.
yeah.
I could see that. Mr. Bennett?
I would say something. First of all, this, what you mean to the study just sent, I'm a person, I don't like it because it look like it's the city of Bridgeport. And I'm trying to look and see something about school. Second, Ms. Brown, and I feel like we're doing another logo. Like are we trying to put puzzle together to try to do something else, to fix it. And I don't feel that the way I feel, my opinion, it's like we don't see more what our kids was doing before. that we're trying to do another logo. My opinion, I would like everything we just talk about it. Why you don't send it to the kids? The kids, maybe they can do something, what we suggest, why we think it will look better.
Because remember, we suggested that we was gonna pull from the kids' ideas and
I
then,
know, I understand that, but it's just the way I see it. I see it that we're trying to make another new logo, like the logo the kids they did.
well, you gotta look at it too. The logo in itself, there isn't a logo. So we're building
Yeah, I know.
the small components to make a logo. So pulling pieces from the students, pulling pieces from the staff, pulling pieces from what the graphic designers have come up with to create a logo. We can't necessarily be stuck on one component, one logo from all of the students. We're trying to incorporate all of their ideas in some way or another, the words, the feelings. It takes a lot to build an entire logo for everyone to understand the different parts of it. So I honestly think as we continue to like go back and forth, nothing is written in stone.
I know.
So as we continue to send it back and critique it as much as possible, and then boom, we have something, then it'll probably make a little bit more sense.
So we're gonna send it to, you say whatever, Dr. Henry's taking the notes, they will send it to the sign, what we like,
And he'll keep bringing more.
so how they're gonna look like.
So what I'm going to say to him is that the circular shape was popular. The every kid, every day, the way the font had it around was popular. I'm going to say that the water wasn't specifically liked, but it's open if it's less, or if it's more stylized, if it's not so ambiguous. No more globe. The graduation cap is a good start, but there should be some words on the graduation cap. We would like to see the city skyline represented, potentially the lighthouse, the Barnum Museum, but not too cluttered. We don't want that. And we would like to see some representation of our students. So some diversity, our students, that some sort of graphic that really represents our kids.
And from that, I think Albert, he can put, or the designers can put different ones. So when we come back, there'll probably be 5 or 6 more that we can look at, and then, you know, until we agree on one.
So you wanna tell me, Miss Dr. Henry, that you say about the city is gonna be in the logo, or the city is gonna be background?
So,
Logo on the top?
and that's up to you all.
I'm just-
So I can ask him to present it in a couple ways.
I don't want people there,
Mhm.
confused, so many.
Would you like the city surrounding the circle with the graduation cap? And what they could potentially do is if you shrink the circle slightly and it says every kid, every day, and we have the graduation cap with the selected words, the city could almost, what if they did the buildings? So let's say the Barnum Museum was on this side and then the lighthouse was on this side. So it takes, sorry, my chicken scratch right here. You could have the buildings surrounding the circle. So you would take the logo from being just circular and you would stretch it almost into
I see what you're talking about.
a diamond shape, because you could add the,
Elongated.
I
Yeah.
apologize, I'm showing them over there.
Yeah, like this.
So,
We're talking about,
and this, so your city skyline could become a silhouette, so more muted colors, and your circle with your graduation cap would be the spark, the highlight of it.
that could work. Listen, I don't think we're sold on any one specifically, but I think the more that you bring it back and, see what they come up with, and then we could start looking deeper into it. And then we probably gonna need because if you think about it, we're never gonna be sold on every component of the logo. So we have to at one point come to our mindset and say here are parts of it that we can keep and that will work, because this can go on forever.
Yeah.
We can literally keep picking at it till there's nothing. I do it every day. So, if we get a couple good ones, and as they start checking off some of the major points, that may help us get on a even playing field for what we want.
Maybe just have them come up with a couple more ideas besides the city in case.
Yeah.
Get off the city, like maybe a school building or, I don't know, just talking ideas out here, books or.
Playground.
Like,
I would like to see the logo look more about Bristol School, parents and students.
Right.
Not for the city,
We know.
our school stuff.
I think you want to make sure that it doesn't start to look almost like it's Bridgeport Regional Business Council.
That part.
That's something you would expect there.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yep, I agree.
Makes sense.
Or, you know,
Okay.
talk about things too.
Not real simple.
Are we, so are we okay to send it back?
Okay,
Everyone's in
second.
agreement with the different corrections to send it back for them to send us a quite, more reviews on, the logo? We're
So
okay.
they will return this for the design, Dr. Herman, you will let them know you let them know to design, what we like to see.
Right,
Yes.
so the words I've got in bold over here, we're considering the skyline, we want kid representation. We don't love the water. We want the word success, future, and diversity highlighted in what we're saying. We do like the circular shape, but there's potential for some stretching to make it more of a diamond if the buildings in the city line work nicely. We want the cap to be colorful because we don't want a black square in the middle, and we want the words to pop off. We don't love the globe. We do like the fonts. And more student representation. Am I missing anything?
Ms. Brown, I suggest if it was okay with you, that have at least parents or student involved in this, that they can see it. I would like, they can see it, to suggest why they think.
Thought is you may consider maybe with the next iteration, if you think it's starting to go in a certain direction, is to present it to the full board, not for approval, but just to show them this is kind of where we're going.
Mhm.
What do you think about this?
You guys think it's too early for the full board though?
No, not for approval. It's just a little presentation just to update them. Look, this is where we are so far.
Yeah, I think it's an idea after the next.
Yeah.
For the next, not the-
Not this one. That's why I was like, okay, so after the next one,
if you think it's developed enough,
okay.
then present it to the full board. This is where we are so far. We're not looking for an approval. We're just want to know if you guys feel that we're going in the right direction.
Okay, and then we can all.
I don't know when it's gonna be our next, roundtable, Mr. Testani, maybe they can bring it to the team, to the PAC leaders, let them know. Because I would like.
I would have a problem with that. If the PAC leaders start showing up more, it would be nice, then we can bring it.
Okay, let me finish because I didn't hear it yet. Before the board, I would like to, parents and students be involved. Because it's about the parents, student involved. I know us, the NIBO member, we can vote, we agree, we're gonna like it because it's the logo. But I want the parents and, the student be involved. PAC leaders, that's what they're here for. So I would like to be more involved.
Here's my thought process, is that I don't think it would be fair to bring like a finished product to anyone. Say, this is what we came up with. I think along the way, you should show it, not to necessarily turn it into a thing where, a parent or student group rips it apart and tries to redo it. But just, okay, we're at like a 30% stage. Do you think we're going in the right direction? While it's still early. That's all I'm saying. And then either at the parent level or board level,
I'm not objecting. Yeah, I think that's good if we can be able to do that. I think after the second round, we see where we are. And if it's not, up to par, we push it back just a little bit further. But I do agree that we can incorporate that so we can have that feedback. But yeah.
Heck, even put it out there in a survey.
It can be one parent come to the round table. For me, one parent is the voice. It's very important. It can be one parent, it can be one student. But at least we try to let them know this is the logo, for me, it's very important.
We could put it out in a survey then too.
Much better,
I can have teachers present it to the students in the class. So the teachers that facilitated the student designs, we can certainly share it with those classes again.
I think that's good. That's good. Then that would meet on both ends. Everyone.
And it's a teaching opportunity within the classroom too.
Right.
I agree. So let's wait for the next round of edits. And then from there, we'll see how we feel. Then we'll pitch it to board members, we'll pitch it to students and anyone else that wants to be pitched to. Okay. All right. And then I know we're running into Joe's meeting. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
For everything.
If you think of anything, just let me know.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Dr. Henry, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yep, and then we just have one last thing. I know Erica may have had some stuff, so she said that she would text me or email me her thoughts for agenda items for next meeting, because I know you guys are super busy, so trying to grab you guys is kind of hard. Did you have any suggestions for new agenda items before I
This moment, no, Ms. Brown, I will email you,
Okay.
you know.
All right,
Yeah.
so I did ask. Without further ado, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second, and we are done. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Hearing none, meeting adjourned. Okay.
Sorry,
Well,
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms.
You're
Brown.
welcome.